Del Connor is the philosopher poet of the hippie generation.
All right, welcome back to the Richard Del Connor Philosopher Poet podcast. And, well, I think I mentioned this earlier somewhere. Was it one of these podcasts? About how I should be the one who was embarrassed about this song. But anyway, this song features Oh Michelle. And this is 2 words. O-H space Michelle. And let's see. Welcome to the 36th level alternate reality of mine. Well, it's not really the alternate. It's actually the true reality of mine. Kind of. It's not really fictionalized. It's going to actually encompass all the events of my life. And you just have to journey through them. And in the course, you'll graduate Tai Chi youth. You'll learn Kung Fu, Chin Na, self-defense, some Shaolin, Tom Tuis. You'll get that 1-inch punch that Bruce Lee could never teach anyone because it was a trick. But I teach all my students in the first year the 1-inch punch. And it's won quite a few fights. One punch, fight's over. It's actually a reality in my schools. My students are 1-punch experts. So anyway, where are we? Let's see. Oh, it says, anyone who can attain all 36 levels of this Kung Fu Cowboy metaverse will be smarter than anybody I currently know. I mean, you can easily say that. Okay, where were we? We are... got my little notes here. I'm supposed to come over here and look at my topics. I usually try to have 2 topics in each episode. So this topic is the question, are these lyrics too nasty? You know, seriously. I mean, I know they're not, considering the stuff I hear coming from my neighbors. I heard them talking about pedophilia and murder and pop, which I think was gunshots killing people. So the amount of stuff that's normal is... I can't really comprehend it. But anyway, are these lyrics too nasty? Let's just stick to me and my Christian upbringing. Your opinion in the comments. I may never read them, but good place for you guys to argue about them. Let me see. Where were we? So you're going to get to see the lyric video for Oh Michelle. And you will not see any pictures of Oh Michelle. And I thought it could make it about other girls and throw a bunch of girl pictures. But I don't have the library of girly pictures, and I never shot pornography, so I don't have even those things to pull from. So I decided it's a lyric thing. You got to use your own imagination. And that's what the song's supposed to be. It was never written to have video going with it. It's supposed to tell the story. So hopefully when you listen to this and the lyrics make it all nice and clear, you'll imagine whatever you imagine. All right, so where were we? Yeah, this song provides... nasty lyrics. I got a little questionnaire here. Product quotes. Well, this is a quote from the song I put in here. Tell me to lick you, then say stop. Okay, I think that's one of the more nasty parts of that. Product quotes. I used an unorthodox font. Really didn't use it anywhere else. Never have. But I was looking for something to make it different. I mean... there was a couple of fonts that I used which you might expect to use for a song like this. And due to my creative punky nature, I had to break tradition or expectations. I had to look for something just a little more unique. Look what I found. Anyway, check out the lyrics and the font I used. We can, if you're interested, I can tell you the name of it. What is it? Because I don't have it written down here. Where is it? Okay, let's go to topic number 2. Okay, nasty lyrics. I have a book called Spring Fevers, which back in the 70s I thought was nasty. Now it's like, what's so nasty about that? But when you're a kid, you're first dabbling into fetishes and things like that, you know, it seems like what it seems. Okay. Oh, now stories of photo. Okay, so Michelle is a true story. This song is a true story. In fact, this song was written during sex. I actually describe it at the very beginning of the song. I tell when and how I wrote the song. We were literally having sex when I wrote this song. And it was just, I just had to stop having sex and go record it because the song wouldn't stop. It was distracting me. Well, I don't know if it was distracting me, but I just knew it was a good idea to record it right then when I knew it was a happening song. Anyway, She was a photo assistant of mine. She was a bunch of things, which is why I thought it was a good idea to marry her. So I can fault myself on, once again, not making the best choice. But to be honest with you, she was a good choice in many ways. Ultimately, not in enough ways, but still. But she was a photo assistant, and we had a lot of fun. I'd do photo shoots, and I've probably heard me mention them before. Like at the Whiskey, she was my sidekick, so people knew me. I got my cowboy hat, and everybody, oh, come on through. They didn't check my ID, and the bouncers all knew me, and I'd have to pay anything because they knew I was there. And I was taking pictures and stuff for the magazine, so that promotes their clubs too. So they were always, I'd go to the front of the line. I like being a star, a celebrity to some extent. I don't mind being a celebrity. I really don't want to stand in the line like the herd of cows in the rank and file. I mean, nobody does, but I think I'm one of the kind of people who deserve not to, because I'm kind of like creating the show inside you're going to see. So I shouldn't stand in line with the commoners, the common crowd. What did Shakespeare called them? The walnut crackers or something. They used to eat nuts and stuff like that and just be cracking nuts and making noise. Or peanut cracking. He had a nickname for them because they were always eating peanuts or something. The rank and file, the commoners, the common crowd that he was placating. That's why he had a lot of like slapstick in his actual productions, because he was placating to them, just like they would on Fox television or something. Okay, where are we? So anyway, but I got good stories to tell of her being a photo assistant, how I really appreciated her. I appreciate being able to depend on her and her help make my world better and do cool things and have a spotlight on the star when they couldn't afford to buy the spotlight. They charged another $50 I got to see up there. Well, maybe it's only 25 or 20. I forget. The prices changed a little bit over the few years. But anyway, if it was 25 to $50 for hire somebody for a spotlight and you didn't do it, you'd just get the stage lights and no spotlight. And so because I had a good relationship with the nightclubs, especially the Whiskey, they say, oh yeah, Michelle can go up and run the spotlight. So I'd have her go up there and run it, and they get a free spotlight, and I wouldn't have to use flash. I hate using flash. I used flash maybe 1% of all the time I ever shot. Like rarely did I use flash at all. I always used the common light because I wanted to get the lighting, and I wanted to get the colored lighting and the floor stage lighting. I just didn't want to get everything to look like it was shot in a living room. So I was going for the stage, and that's why a lot of people like me, a lot of bands like me as a photographer, because I made it look, their pictures made it look like they were on stage. They weren't flash photography, and I think that they all enjoyed that, appreciated it. I used to get compliments in Screamer magazine. Sometimes people would write into the editors. They go, "The coolest pictures are always from this guy named the Coyote." I saw some of those. I was like, yeah, I kind of like being appreciated a little bit. Okay, where were we? This is the Old Michelle Rock Opera. Why am I saying this? A Coyote Graveyard Rock Opera soundtrack. Maybe I should pick a song that's on the soundtrack. The song's not even on here, but for some reason I was supposed to show it. But this is the actual cassette, and if you look on here, it actually says in here, this is from if I could find it back there in my cabinet, I have the actual half-inch master, half-inch tape is what this is, and it's half-inch master. I mean, that's like super quality. It means the width of that signal, that analog signal, is a quarter. This is a half inch. So anyway, this is just a mix down of that, just to this cassette. Boom. And then from this is what you got for the album. So that was the cleanest and best quality I gave you right now until I can figure out a way to get to the master, and then I can have it digitized, and we'd have one less generation of analog. But most tapes go generations to generations, which kind of creates that old 60s sound, that compression. It smooths everything out when you go from analog to analog to analog. Okay, where were we? The side A and the side B. Oh, so if this album was actually made to be a side A and a side B. And so when I released the single, rather than releasing all the songs individually, what I did was I actually made it one hunk of songs, which is called side A, and one hunk of songs called side B. And that's what you have to buy. So I'm not going to make as much money. I don't know if those royalties are even going to be noticed, for all those individual songs, because they're not really, like I said, separated out with the code numbers individually. Just the overall things so I'm getting like 1/5, 20% of what I'd make if I put all the songs individually or something. But I just thought the experience was what I wanted you to have. I wanted, even if I'm making 20%, 80% less money, if I'm giving you the right experience, making you listen to the songs in the order, then I think it's worth it. So I'm sacrificing 80% of my income so that you can experience this album, Coyote in a Graveyard, or Coyote Graveyard, properly. Okay, where were we? Yeah, that's the record producer and artist and hippie side of me. Just want to make things as cool as I can for you. So what does it say? It says play side A and play side B. Oh, how about that? Let me circle that in red. Make sure I don't bypass that. I'm saying to play that album for you at the end of this podcast. Well, I put some thought into that. I'm not going to question my logic now. I'd like to think that I made good decisions when I was planning out all these podcasts. So, okay, you're going to get to hear the whole album. That whole album is going to be at the end of this podcast, side A and B. So, yeah, keep that in mind. There may be a slight pause between the two. Maybe I'll run them together. I don't know. Maybe I'll make an intermission. I'll sell you some popcorn. Okay, where were we? It says play Old Michelle video last. Well, so somehow I'm going to play you that whole album. Then you're going to hear Old Michelle. Glad I noticed that. So now you know to wait for it. Wait till you get to the end of this album, and then you'll actually get Old Michelle. Or we'll see. I got to do the editing still. I'm just about to close this down. What's my outro? Well, I'm promoting, of course, the Oh Boy music movie, OBOY, by Richard Del Conner, me, and the Oh Boy, OBOY album, and all the songs that are on that album. And there's 17 songs, remember. There's 11 live songs and 6 studio songs. So 17 songs on this album. Okay, and let's see. I didn't say this. Oh, but on the song, Oh Michelle, in my notes here, it says, my guitar sounds like Mick Ronson of David Bowie's Spiders from Mars, like Suffragette City. That guitar player, he's actually one of my role models, that I identified with. And I played a couple of his songs, actually, in my routines during the 70s. So he inspired me a little bit. I love that album, Spiders from Mars. It's my favorite album. Actually, I like The Man Who Sold the World. So those two albums are to me, just inspirational, and they may have even influenced me. And that bass player, producer, whatever his name is, it'll come to me, but he does some really cool stuff. Really cool, nice, loud. You could tell they recorded from the amplifier. Well, that's why I like recording some of my bass. Through the amplifier, not just directly in and then adding an amplifier sound. When you record it, when you run the bass through an amplifier and then record the speaker, you're getting all this effect of the tubing and all that transferring of energy, and then to the speaker, and it's transferring it to the air, which is going to the microphone, which is transferring that signal into the wire, which is transferring that line into the computer, which is turning it into all of that processing makes the bass sound kind of cool. Fresh bass is nice. My Rickenbacker sounds absolutely phenomenal. Just plug it straight into the computer. But by adding all that sound to it, or that flavor, not feeling, it's feeling. It's like adding cushion to the whole thing. That's what I like about some of my bass sounds. And you'll hear it on some of my recordings where I did record from my speakers. And I always never thought that was a mistake. Let's put it that way. Okay, so wrapping this up. Mick Ronson, yeah, he's an influence of mine. Be careful about, I give you a little piece of wisdom here. Be careful about sex. What? Besides the diseases you can get from it, it's the pregnancy, which I think is the worst traumatic event that can occur from having sex. So when I was, during the 90s, when I was really working with a lot of people in prisons and rehabs and stuff, and I was really kind of a counselor. I was trying to get their lives in order. I had to come up with some sort of helpful guidelines. And being a parent now, I was also raising a daughter who was born in 1991. So I was a parent, and at school I was parenting, and I had all these kids and young kids and teenagers and convicts. I had to kind of give them some good, useful information. And this is some useful information I came up with at that time, which I still think is very relevant. And I used to tell them, don't have sex with anyone unless you're willing to marry them. In other words, before they get pregnant, are you willing to marry this person if they get pregnant? Don't think of it after. Don't think, she's pregnant. Do I want to marry her? Now, you got to make that decision before you have sex. And if you decide, no, I don't think I'm going to marry her, that's not all right, then I tell my students, don't have sex. I don't say don't, but the logic is there. You should save it for someone who you want to marry. So that's the way I thought I could reduce risk. And there was one of my top students he was actually kind of inspired this, and I realized I told him, I didn't have a good feeling about this, and I said, you really should, make sure. Are you really willing to marry this girl? Because he had moved in with him even, and I still said, are you willing to marry her? Because I could see trouble on the horizon, and he didn't process that. He kind of gave it an I don't know, and she got pregnant, and then he married her, and then she ran off, and he went up to service, and the kid went to his parents, and I didn't know. It ended up being nothing but trouble for sex. So anyway, I'm just trying to give you helpful advice. I know sex. I've had too much sex in my life, so you don't need as much as you can. You should be a little bit choosy. How about that? Okay, where was I? Once again, special thanks to all the musicians of the Coyote in a Graveyard soundtrack album. Why am I promoting that one? This song's not from then. But, well, it's I guess because this is the metaverse. I think I see why I was kind of digging in here. For some reason, because I'm addressing the Coyote in a Graveyard situation, I hope I get my notes mixed up. The Coyote in a Graveyard is level 6. So if we start with level 1, I'm a kid. Level 2, I'm a teenager. And level 3, I'm whatever, 4 and 5. When we get to 6, this is the mid-80s. And I'm from the 50s to the 80s. So 30 years and 5. So anyway, so these hunks of my life. And then in the mid-80s, 84 and 85, is the Coyote in a Graveyard. And that's level 6. So if you're climbing up the ladder, it's easy to say, if we're climbing up to level 6, when you're in level 6, you'd have to buy one NFT that's actually from level 6, from the Coyote Graveyard. And that would give you a digital entry into the Discord server level. So that would be able to kind of click that button if you could somehow register that. It would recognize that NFT in your metaverse wallet. So in other words, you take it, you buy it, you have it in your wallet, then you go to register, you can kind of see what's in your wallet, and it's going to go, oh, you got that, and it'll let you in. So that's how I'm kind of like wiring. It's in the future. Before I'm dead, probably nobody's going to care or do anything about it. But I think sometime in the future, some kids are going to figure out how to operate this Discord thing, and they're going to be able to make it work and create smarter people. The whole universe is going to be smarter if anybody can actually master this metaverse. Okay, so anyway, where were we? Buddha gave sex advice, since I'm on the topic. Buddha, from his notes, I love it, because I tried to read all kinds of letters and things about the lectures, because he just gave lectures. He didn't write his words down. He gave lectures, and people wrote them down. And in this one particular lecture, somebody asked him about sex or premarital sex or something like that. And he, rather than answering it with anything having to do with religion or rules or society or even age, what he said was, you shouldn't have sex with children, or I guess anyone, who lives with their parents. That put it in an interesting perspective. That makes it a lot more limiting. And it means you might have to be responsible. Maybe you'd have to help her get a job and get her own apartment, and then you can have a relationship. Then you can have sex, then decide to get married, or just, maybe get married before you have sex. But believe me, waiting, sex and marriage really don't have anything to do with each other. We think they do, but they don't. Because if they did, then marriages should only be planned for a 4-year maximum, because sex lives just don't go more than 4 years. You can maybe rekindle it for another 3 or 4, but they just go in little leaps, and then people get bored and go on to things. It's kind of like men with magazines. You can't just look at one Playboy magazine the rest of your life, and it seems to be that way with humans, especially women, or at least other people other than me. And I'm a little different, so my ability to make that kind of decision to be monogamous may be unique. Maybe if I was a normal person, I couldn't go more than 4 years. But anyway, so that's what I'm trying to say, is sex and marriage are really two different things. So if you got married and then got sex, I can't see any downside to that, because it's not like there's so many different ways to have sex that you'll figure something out that you can both enjoy. That's all there is to it. You're going to enjoy something, she's going to enjoy something, and somehow you'll figure out a way to both enjoy what you like. And so that's the least of your worries. The marriage, the business, the finances, the kids, those are the tough parts. Those are the tough parts of marriage. Where were we? That's it. And in the product links, I may send you to a couple places. I'm looking at a couple of website links that I'm creating. One at Folk Rock Troubadour. See, I played acoustic since the since when? Since 1966. and so I've been like a troubadour, and I've traveled and toured and played just acoustic guitar. And so I'm a troubadour. I am a troubadour. And I'm a folk rock troubadour. I don't like folk so much. I don't want to play any of the Pete Seeger songs or even Donovan songs. I'm a folk rock artist, and that rock is me. So without that rock in it, I'm not really going to play folk music. And I got reasons and stories. I grew up in folk music. And I could talk more about folk music, but I don't want to. I decided that I was a rocker, and so I kind of graduated from folk music real early, like about 1966. And so, I'm a folk rock troubadour. And so folk rock troubadour, D-O-U-R, the original French version of that, folkrocktroubadour.com is me. And so I know it's a cool site, and I've kind of thrown a bunch of stuff in there, and then I walked away from it for a decade. So I don't know. That's one other thing I like about what I'm doing here with this podcast. It's forcing me to go in and check on some of these things and upgrade them, because I wrote it down. I got to have a link to it. It's like, well, I better go look at it, see where it's at now. So I'm going to kind of grow everything as you find out. Follow along me. I like with me. Follow along. Hey, you guys, follow me somewhere. And what's my outro on this? Do I have an outro? Oh, yeah, here it is. It says, are you getting smarter? Well, I am. And this song proves it. A wonderful, sexy song. I'm a little smarter now. It took me a long time to realize I should be more embarrassed than I was. I just believed that sex was just... We'll have to talk about that another time. Wonderful, sexy, lust-loving, sexual intercourse. There's a sentence. It used to be the foundation of my relationships. Then I got smarter. Yeah, kind of late, fortunately. Well, still, even when I kind of got smarter, I didn't get smart. I didn't get lucky enough, and I didn't have the opportunities. So the choices I had to make, I did my best, but I could have used more choices. But enjoy life, and see if you can be smarter than me. To be honest with you, being smart is fun. It makes my life more enjoyable. You understand more, you see more, you experience more. There's no downside to being smart. It's all. I hate that saying. It's all good. I never use it, and so I was tempted to almost say, "You're being smart. It's all good." But once again, it depends on how you use it. So I'm not going to ever use that thing. It's all good, because it's not true. Not everything is good. You know. Anyway, back to reality with the philosopher poet Richard Del Connor. Enjoy all this music. I'm playing you a whole bunch of music, I think. See ya.
Okay, here's a song that's going to embarrass somebody here. I won't say who. Oh, girl, you make me so hot. Tell me to lick you then. Say stop. Oh girl, you make me boil. Cover me with kisses and your love oil. Oh girl, you got me well. I'm hungry for you like a little child. Oh girl, this is better than love. Drink the tender, pushing shove. You're so good. You're so bad. You're so fine. Oh Michelle, you are mine. Oh girl, I love you so much. Show me you love me with a scratch or a touch. Oh girl, you must be blessed, enjoying the sins others must confess. Oh girl, this is just my love, guardian nasty all night long. Oh girl, I'm your whore, there's nothing I won't do. You're so good, you're so bad, you're so fine. Oh Michelle, you are mine. Oh, Michelle, you are mine. Oh, Michelle, are mine. Just so good, just so bad, just so fine. Oh, Michelle, you are mine. Oh, Michelle, you are mine.